What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Bluezer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good Monday so far, a good start to your week. Live from my holding cell. No, I'm just kidding, but still on vacation right now. But we do have a little bit of Plarium news here for you guys in regards to Summon Rush 2. Now, we do have the countdown here for Summon Rush 2 in about 19 hours from now. Some of you guys might have skipped Summon Rush 1, and if you guys completely skip Summon Rush 1, you guys can still complete the Khamir fusion, but you guys will have to get all the fragments remaining in every single event for the fusion. Now, let's take a look at what's happening for the next couple of days. We do have some progressive events. So we got two separate days of progressive events here. I'll split them up for you guys for easy digesting. So here we go. We got some news about the upcoming events this Tuesday, August 4th. We're planning to launch a progressive event, 15x chance to summon the champions of your choice. So first up, we have one of the newer champions that just got released in the game. He's from the Orc faction, Helguk, the Hollow Sight. So he is a support champion here. He's got a single target A1, 100% chance to decrease crit rate, also places decreased crit damage if they're under Hex. He does place Hex here on the A2 on a 3-turn cooldowns and AoE Hex with a block buffs. Also has a little bit of a enemy strip here, similar to Mighty Uko, and this one's a lot better because it's on a 3-turn cooldown. He does bring a team revive also on a 4-turn cooldown, placing revive on death and a shield on them to ensure that they stick around. The passive here, whenever an ally is revived by revive on death, which he places on his A3, fills that champion's turn meter by 50%, again giving them a chance to get a turn. Whenever an enemy under Hex is killed, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 25%. This is pretty nice against wave content. Very, very nice. Enemies under Hex will have their crit rate decreased by 20%. Again, very nice. Usually enemy mob waves, they don't have a lot of crit rate. So if you reduce your crit rate, that means they'll never crit against you, which is very, very good. And then he's packing a big arena aura here. I kind of like him for PvE content. Makes sense, right? Block buffs and Hex. Although Hex can be a replaceable debuff, you can just add curse sets to champions now. This is still a pretty good ability. And then he packs a revive on death. I think he's going to be pretty strong for like faction wars and stuff like that. Not a bad champion for general progression. Up next, we have a earlier fusion from a couple months ago. We have Mavara, the Web Diviner. I think she's one of the best fusions of this year. I think there was an argument to be made that she is one of the best fusions of all time. Of course, we have some pretty tough competition in terms of overall fusions, but she's very, very strong. 110 base speed, great base stats here. We got an A1 that places Fervor. Fervor is a nice buff that gives you additional damage. And she has this nice passive effect here that brings in allies with a Fervor buff. This actually translates into quite a bit of extra damage, especially if you have buff extender champions on your team. So you can make the Fervor buff last a little bit longer. Her A2 here, strengthen, increased resistance, and then this equalize HP. So could be a big heal here on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very strong ability. And then she has a single target 3-turn revive with a perfect veil and unkillable on herself. The Veil's very nice, very annoying ability. Also gives your team a way to deal with the Head of Torment if you're using her for Hydra. And lastly, her passive makes her very strong. Every 8 buffs the enemy team receives, increased turn meter of all your allies by 20%. In Arena, this allows your team to potentially cut in on your enemy also. And every 16 buffs that this champion and allies receive heals all allies by 20% of the max HP. Nice passive heal here. And of course, you can control this to some extent. Very, very strong champion with a big speed in arena battles also here. Really strong carry in a lot of content. Up next, we have a champion here that honestly gets featured a lot in a lot of these progressive events, but I don't see anybody wanting this guy or ever using this guy. So we got Doom Herald Saharis here. 20% speed in all battles. I think he's got a cool kit, but I think he's lacking a little bit here. He's got passive that places accuracy on everybody for 3 turns at the start of the round, which is pretty solid. Whenever a debuff on an enemy is removed, expires or has a duration decrease, fills this champion's turn by 5%. Big ability here is that he has a single target hit, 100% chance to steal everything, then applies a buff spread. So he steals everything from one enemy, and then all those buffs get spread on your team. And then he places block actives on that one target, neutralizing that single target, right? He also comes in with the intercept stack on a target ally. And then block debuffs increase speed on your whole team for the 3-turn cooldown. Unfortunately, no turn meter boost. Would have loved to see a turn meter boost here. His A1 has chance to steal turn meter and also a little bit of debuff spreading. I think for him, he needed probably a turn meter boost. And the fact that this ability, this steal ability, can be hard to pull off nowadays, especially with Lightning Cage, Stone Skin, Material, and Meta. But for PvE content, this should be going off relatively frequently and be quite strong. So I don't think he's a bad champion or anything like that, but definitely not somebody that you really, really want, especially for Barbarian, since you do have Armans here for the wave control, who's going to be much, much stronger. Up next, we have from the Lizardman, Karen the Harvester. I did play test this guy. I thought this guy was super awkward. Not a big fan of him, to be honest. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have this guy and if you guys use this guy to any kind of serious effect. But basically, I just don't find his skills working out super, super well. So first up, his A3 is his big ability. He does an AoE sleep that bypasses block debuffs, and then he gets an extra turn from it. In which he can use his single target lockout ability with the big turn meter decrease. Now, the problem with this ability is that if you put everybody to sleep, and if this for some reason is on cooldown, your only other option is to use an AoE ability, which wakes everybody up. So it's kind of anti-synergistic. The thing is, whenever a sleep is removed, expires, or on a target, instantly activates your A2. So if you put everybody to sleep, if you wake everybody up, you will then put them on cooldown, put their skills on cooldown. I think that's the idea that the devs have, but then they add this stupid text here that says it doesn't work if it's removed by damage. Like, if it didn't have this stupid text here, then I could see this kind of being okay. You put everybody to sleep, you wake everybody up, and then you slap them with these turn meter drops and then, lock them out. And it kind of works, but this case, it says it can't be used. It doesn't work if it's removed by damage. So I find it a little bit awkward for this guy. He does have, okay support stats, right? Good support stats, actually. But I just don't think this guy's a very good support champion or a wave control champion. So personally, I would just stay away. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have a differing opinion. Up next, we have from the Skinwalkers here. Really solid champion. We got Mighty Uko here. Past fusion from a long time ago. Speed in all battles. It's got the 4-turn revive with increased speed and block damage. You can use the increased speed even if allies are alive. This ability on a 4-turn cooldown probably should be a 3-turn cooldown nowadays in 2026. It's a double hit, which is pretty good against Mercurial. Removes 2 random buffs, and if all the buffs are gone, then he's going to place block buffs and decrease accuracy. I feel like this conditional block buff decrease accuracy probably should just go away, especially since this is a 4-turn cooldown. He does bring an AoE A1 decrease attack, which is pretty good. And his passive is actually really interesting, having the ability to steal random buffs when they occur for your enemy. Good champion, good carry for the Skinwalker faction. That's going to be it from the non-boys. Let's talk about the boy champions here a little bit. Not too many crazy ones. We do have Odin, a Fade Father here. Very nice champion, especially in 9-piece Mercurial. Passive, super annoying every 9 turns. This is like on the field. Plays buff damage on this champion 1 turn, and then place a buff spread on everybody. Very strong. This ability, one of the best 3-turn strips with the decreased defense and the stun. This ability also very strong, very good against support champion, big swing ability, kill an enemy, and then bring back an ally. As A1 Berserk, good against supports. So if you place this debuff on a support champion, they're going to do more damage. But since they do no damage, giving them a little bit more damage is not going to be too bad. But then they take more damage, so that brings down supports a little bit easier. And then this big 40% speed in Void Ally speed in arena battles. This is the biggest speed aura you can get, but for Void only, in arena only. So he's going to be up for grabs. The other Void champion here we have from the Ogren tribes, we have Togron. Togron actually pretty good support, speed in all battles here. He does bring a full team cleanse with a turn meter boost. And a increased accuracy, not too shabby. And then he's got a 3-turn full team heal with increased speed and continuous heal and block debuffs. Very strong ability. Lots of value from this. His A1 has a buff spread. Again, very strong ability. His passive passively increases the max HP on your team and also increases the damage of your allies. So not too bad. Decent support champion, cleanser, Termir booster, and then having the speed in all battles. But he's a void champion, so a lot more is expected of him. Unfortunately, I think he was buffed recently, and yeah, he's still okay, but definitely missing some more love, I guess. And then lastly, for the Void champions on day one, we have Warlord, one of the few lockout champions in the game, still very relevant for this lockout ability. Obviously very strong for faction wars, has block debuffs, shield, and a heal. And then this increased duration of all debuffs can be okay against bosses. 100 base speed kind of hurts him a little bit here. Would really love to see him be at 110. But most likely, if you have him, you're probably going to go for him, or actually probably going to use him. But I think for day one, based on what I have and don't have, I'd probably go for Odin because I don't have him, or of course Warlord if you need a lockout champion. For the non-voids, actually, Mavara and Helga look pretty good. Mighty Uko also looks pretty good if you don't have any kind of support there for your for your skinwalkers. Those would be my choices on day one. Okay, let's take a quick look at day two here. All right, so for day two, we got some Argonites here. So first up, we have Nolson, the Bronze Bull. I think he's an okay champion. He does bring the provoke on the. It is a 4-turn cooldown, so it's hard to use against Hydra, where you want provoke and stuff like that. Does play his counterattack on himself. Does reduce some of the accuracy requirements because he ignores 50% of the target's resistance. He is HP based, so he's more likely to have higher HP than other champions. However, when you're using PvE content, it's less likely that he's going to have higher HP. It's actually very unlikely that that's going to happen. So you're still going to need accuracy against PvE content. His A1 destroys max HP, also has a turn meter boost, gets additional benefit from enemies under provoke. His A2, single target smack, ignores 50% of the target's defense with big damage from books here, 35%. He also goes through Stone Skin. If he kills an enemy, he instantly activates the A3, which is an AoE provoke. It's kind of interesting. It's on a 3-turn cooldown also. This could be a big smack. I didn't test this guy in terms of overall damage. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have this guy, if you guys used him before. His passive also conditional upside against provoke. He takes less damage from provoke champions, and he also deals more damage against provoke champions. Actually, your whole team does, which is kind of nice. Comes in with accuracy in arena battles, which is kind of strange, but okay. Next up, again, from the Argonites, we have probably one of the best Argonites, and he was a fusion. One of the first Argonites. I don't know if it's the first. No, Cassandra's the first Argonite. But yeah, Pelops the Victor, very, very strong champion. And people can get him for free on brand new accounts, which is really amazing. He's got decreased attack on the A1, very good against bosses, of course. He's got a 3-turn single target smack here with the ignore 50% target defense if they're under HP burn. Big hit here if they have a lot of debuffs. You can set that up. He's got the A3 here, very important. Increased attack, magma shield on your whole team. The magma shield is very nice, 30% of his max HP. He has good base max HP. Also plays his taunt on himself. Passive effect is also very nice, decreasing damage to your entire team by 20% if he's not under decreased defense. And then his passive here, very, very strong passive. He's immune to stun, HP burn, and petrification. And then he can land HP burn as long as he's not under decreased defense at 100% clip. And then he can also land petrification at 50%. If not under decreased defense. Petrification is very, very powerful, especially if you're using this in like PvP content, especially because basically shutting down an enemy champion for, with petrification is just takes him out of the fight. It's really, really crippling. And the fact he plays his taunt on himself also, synergizes well with his passive. 97 base speeds, very, very, a bit on the slow side, below average. But otherwise, his kit very strong. Magma Shield can be used with Titus teams to boost your Titus damage. Also, very, very strong synergy there. Moving on to our next champion here from the Orcs faction, we do have Bells the Reckoner. Bells Reckoner was a Deck of Fate champion, some Christmases ago, maybe 2 Christmases ago. A big thing about him is that he does have the AoE block buffs with the Leech on its 3-turn cooldown. It's not bad if you need it, block buffs. Leech also very useful against bosses and stuff like that. A1 decreased defense, and he has a single target steal here. Becomes an AoE steal if enemies are under Leech. Passive here gives him damage, but he's not a damage dealer, unfortunately, so that kind of sucks. He's not as good or as usable as it seems. The best thing about him is his AoE block bust and leech. He doesn't hit hard, so you gotta build him as a debuffer and stuff like that. It makes his passive kind of useless. But yeah, he's okay. He's okay. But if you have an epic like Ugo or something, then you don't really need him to do this role. You don't need to spend the legendary books on him, right? After that, we have Knave of Hearts. Knave of Hearts from the Night Revs. Knave of Hearts. Where is he? Oh, I think I messed that up. Knave of Hearts actually from the Undead. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, Knave of Hearts, he's okay. He's not bad. He's very good against Scarab King, I guess. He has an A1 provoke, two here. He's got an AoE, continuous heal, but he's unkillable on himself. It's also a little bit of a strip ability on a 3-turn cooldown. It's not bad. This ability is pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. It swaps HP with a target enemy and then places heal reduction. The heal reduction is obviously going to be decent against like Amius, Nether Spiders, stuff like that. Grim Forest Chest. It's going to be equalizing the HP for your team and then placing increased defense on everybody. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. It has some use, totally. And then his passive here is going to fully restore this champion's destroy max HP. When attacked, destroy the attacker's max HP by 20% of the damage received. Again, very good against Scarab King for the destroy max HP there. Not a bad champion, can be okay support. This ability seems pretty decent, right? It's a 2-turn strip, continuous heal, and then unkillable and taunt on him. Yeah, so it's not too bad. Moving on to our next champion here from the Barbarian faction, we have Old Pardon. Big thing about Old Pardon, usually he's junk, but he synergizes really well with Senna, especially with the continuous heal synergies there. As a general support, he's okay. He does bring block buffs, heal reduction. Well, he does remove it, sorry. But he brings the 2 continuous heals and then block debuffs on your team on a 3-turn cooldown. It's kind of like a cleanse, not really. Okay support, but a bit of healing here on the A2. The A1, a bit of turn meter decrease, bit of turn meter fill, passive turn meter fill from continuous heals going off. I mean, perfect synergy with Senna, but by himself, a little bit lackluster, but he's okay in terms of overall healing if you really need him. Going into the Void Champions here, first up we have Narses, Viking Narses. So Viking Narses here, very good against shield champions, strengthen. He does ignore them with his passive. This ability here ignores 25% of target's defense, and then all damage inflicted cannot be decreased by passives or masteries. So that's the big thing about this ability here. His A3 has a chance to block revive if he's under 3 or more buffs. The enemy is under 3 or more buffs. Can be very threatening, and he doesn't take additional damage from counterattacks. If White Queen's on the team, if she's not on the team, then he takes 50% less damage from counterattacks or attacks out of turn. He's okay. I mean, he's kind of just strictly for damage, right? He doesn't bring any other crazy abilities. He works really well with White Queen and Korra. Obviously, with the resetting and stuff, very, very strong. A lot of damage coming in. Was probably one of the best Void guarantees back in the day, although we do have Leonardo and Rhea now. You guys let me know in the comments below if you guys think King Narcy is the best of the best in terms of the Void guarantees, but at the time he was incredibly strong, meta changing. But nowadays, I don't know. With Leo and Rhea, I don't know. That would be an interesting conversation. Next, we have Bellatar Mage Slayer. So this guy is the other legendary reviver for the Ogren tribe. We have Khamir Fusion right now, which I think is a slightly better reviver, I think. Bellatar here has a 100% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill on an ally. It's only a 1-turn decrease, but it's a 100% chance, which is pretty nice. His A2 3-turn cooldown is an AoE attack with increased attack and increased defense, also a big heal on everybody, and a turn meter fill. A lot of stuff happening on this on a 3-turn cooldown, good value. And then his revive everybody with 50% HP, 50% turn meter, shield on everybody, and then block debuffs. It's just a solid revive. His passive has a chance to reset ally skills by 1 turn. It is a 100% chance when they are revived. Only occurs once per turn. If an ally is killed, reduce the cooldown of all this champion skills by 1 turn, giving him a chance to basically come back in with the revive, bring in speed, HP in all battles, 108 base speed, decent base stats. I mean, if you compare him against Khamir, who's the fusion right now, Khamir is a magic affinity champion. He brings maybe more healing just from the A1. This is a really nice ability also. The turn meter fill, increase attack, increase speed. So Bellatar brings increased attack, increased defense, big heal, and a turn meter boost on a 3 turn. So I mean, it's kind of close. It's kind of close. The A1 on Bellatar can be more impactful, but the heal here is very nice. In terms of the revive, you got the increased defense and strengthen here for Khamir, and then for Bellatar, you have the block debuffs and shield. And then it comes down to which passive is kind of better. So Bellatar's passive has some revive synergy, and then you have Khamir's passive, which is on death synergy. I would say they're pretty close. I think the kicker might be this, the speed in all battles. So if you have Bellatar, you probably don't need Khamir, but Khamir is pretty good, comparatively speaking. But yeah, if you have Bellatar, you probably don't need Khamir, most likely. But both are good. And I like the speed in all battles for Khamir, so I'm going to give the edge to Khamir there. And then lastly, for the Void Champions, we have Claydna. Claydna. Where's Claydna? Oh man, Claydna's actually a Sylvan Watcher. My bad there. So Claydna, she does bring the decreased speed here on a 3 turn cooldown and leech. Not bad. I got an A1, chance to sleep. Turn meter fill and stuff. You can use her for Sand Devil. I've seen some teams with her. The turn meter boost might make things a little bit messy. She is also Void Affinity, so less chances, no chances for weak hits. Not less chance, no chance. And then 3 turn cooldown, full team cleanse with the block revive and with a revive on death and a block and debuffs. And then the passive here, 30% chance up to 60% chance of completely blocking the incoming damage of the first hit of an attack on a random ally, occurs once per turn. Not too bad. She was buffed not too long ago. This ability makes her pretty useful. Decreased speed and leech obviously can be useful for Hydra. So she can be your champion there. No chance to weak hit. And then she does bring the cleanse here, which is pretty decent. Still, she's a Void Legendary, and you kind of expect a little bit more, but she is totally okay. For day 2, I'm not sure which one I would pick. Probably go for White King, Narcisse, and then for the non-Void champions. I mean, they're all pretty bad. Day 2 is all pretty bad in terms of non-Voids. I mean, if you don't have Pelops is amazing. You probably want maybe the Bronze Bull just for Faction Wars when it opens for the Argonites. Everybody else is just kind of whatever. So if you guys had to pull for Summon Rush 2, probably look at day 1. Looks like a better progressive group. And yeah, that's going to be it for all the news here for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have to pull for Summon Rush 2, or if you guys pulled everything for Summon Rush 1, or if you guys are waiting for the Champion Chase. Appreciate you guys watching until the end. Once again, sorry about the production quality here. We'll be back in the office studio in a couple of days' time, so I appreciate your patience. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great holiday if you guys are having a holiday today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.